Creature from Black Lake starts out like other Bigfoot movies. It sets the mood with shots of the lake surrounded by trees, animals, and creepy music. During the opening credits, we see two trappers on a boat, and in between, we see shots of a professor talking about Bigfoot.
Some scientists absolutely scoff at the idea of a Sasquatch, a Bigfoot, a Yeti, a skunk ape, or whatever you want to call him.
I love how all these movies think that college professors actually talk about Bigfoot and take it seriously. Sign me up for that course, Bigfoot 101. Uh-oh, looks like the guys aren't alone out there.
There is one good note, though. There's never been a report or an incident of this creature ever attacking or harming a human being.
Well, you can't say that anymore.
We know it's in southern Arkansas or northern Louisiana, and we're willing to do it. We got the summer free. The only thing we lack are two things. That's money and wheels.
The main plot is that two students, Pahu and Reeves, want to go hunt the creature in Louisiana, and they need funding from the professor.
You tired of driving? A little bit. Let's switch.
Probably the most dangerous stunt in the whole movie is when they switch drivers without stopping.
Ready? Oh, switch. Woo!
The movie does have its share of humorous moments. There's a scene early on when the guys decide to camp for the night. They tell Bigfoot stories, and it does get kind of creepy.
This guy comes home from work one day. The two kids are a wreck. They're saying, "Daddy, we saw the Boogerman. We saw the Boogerman. We saw him." I mean, but they're scared. So he thought the wife was telling stories, right? He says, "What have you been telling them?" And she can't handle any of it anymore and snaps right in front of his very eyes. I mean, flips out. They all go in the loony bin. So this guy is just, what happened? So he goes out for 21 days stalking this thing.
By himself?
By himself.
Yeah.
And if my memory serves me well, it's right around these parts here someplace.
I believe I'll relieve myself.
Hi. Hey, what's happening, man?
Some hippie comes out of nowhere and scares him. Not only is this hippie funny, but Pahu's line when he gets back to the tent is also pretty good.
Still wants a cup of coffee. I'm changing my pants.
There is this reoccurring joke that sometimes falls flat, and is really only in the movie for a final joke at the end. Pahu always wants a hamburger.
Wish I had a hamburger go with this beer. I'd like a hamburger, French fries, and a Coke, and I'd like for you to hold the tomatoes. 2 hamburgers, 2 orders of fries, and a large Coke.
How about you?
Done the same as him. Hey, all right.
He hates chicken because that's all he ate when he was a kid.
Yeah.
Green? Oh, Ma, that looks good.
Chicken?
You boys like chicken, I know. I know you like it.
Yeah, I reckon it's about my favorite.
Go on and sit down, Ma.
Got nothing to do with hamburgers, French fries, and Cokes. It was this chicken.
You didn't read anything in the papers to hear about some trapper and his friend that was killed or lost?
You know a guy named Joe Kenton? Do you know about any creature that lives around here?
The guys go around town looking for a man named Joe Kenton, the trapper from the beginning that lived. During their search for Joe, Reeves meets the sheriff, who warns them to stop their hunt for the creature for fear the town will be put into a panic.
Look, son, I'm Sheriff Billy Carter, and it's my duty to protect the citizens of this parish. That includes keeping them from getting riled up over a wild rumor. Now, you're welcome here, so long as you don't go nosing around scaring the daylights out of these people about some mysterious monster.
They get a lead from a man in a barber shop. He tells his story about when he was young, his parents were killed by the creature.
But I heard what was going on in the barber shop, and, well, seeing how you're researching, figure I might as well tell you.
Tell me what?
I seen him. I don't want this to be repeated.
Deal.
Deal? Okay. Well, to tell you the truth, I was too young to remember. My grandpa told me the story so many times, I figure I can tell you as good as anybody.
Orville? Orville? Come back here. Orville? Orville, come back here. Hey, I thought I'd see you.
Best thing for y'all is to get out of here. We don't want nobody snooping around here making us look like a bunch of dumb rednecks. Now, what we seen and what we heard is our own business, so get out of here.
The family is traumatized by the event and refuse to talk about it. The guys offer $25 to the grandpa for his story. Now, adjusted for inflation, that would be about $110. So the grandfather gladly takes it, but only under one condition. They can't mention the beast in front of his wife.
Now, boys, what was that y'all talking about, that reward?
For information.
Information? Well, y'all come on in here up on the porch and we'll talk it over, yeah? You boys like it down here? Yeah, it's a little hot.
During dinner, which is, much to Pahu's dismay, chicken, they hear some barn animals outside. Pahu mentions the creature in front of the whole family.
Was that the creature?
And it's quite apparent at that time that Bigfoot has messed with their lives. The guys are kicked out of the house, but allowed to sleep in the barn for the night, where they get their first encounter with the creature. They even catch a recording of its scream. The next day, the guys go back into town to call the professor about their find. However, the professor thinks it might be a fake. Back at the diner, the guys play back the scream at max volume and get kicked out. However, two girls notice them and start a conversation. They decide to meet up, every college boy's fantasy. However, one of the girls is the sheriff's daughter.
Set up camp tonight outside of town, the state park, you know where.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Why don't you drop by about 7:30?
7.
What do you think? Yeah. Sure, sounds interesting.
Wow. It'll be a good time. That's good.
What's wrong?
Here comes the man.
So what?
Ooh, he's a mean one.
Well, we had a little discussion yesterday. Business, you know.
Hi, Dad.
Maggie, tonight's prayer meeting. Let your mother wants you home early.
Sure.
The girls meet them at their campsite anyway, get to talking, do what kids do, but the creature is watching them. Eventually, we get to see him, and he terrorizes the camp. Just as you think Bigfoot's gonna attack, it's the sheriff, who arrests them and puts them in jail.
You ain't that.
Next, we see Joe Kenton, who is drunk. Bigfoot comes to attack him, but Joe shoots at him, and the creature flees. Joe goes into town to tell the sheriff, but he gets locked up with the boys, where he gets to tell his story.
Yeah, come on. Swear I seen the creature and he damn near come into my house. Go.
Old Willie was the best. Well, was the second best trapper ever was in these parts. He was jerked out of that boat just like you'd snatch a catfish out of the bayou. Neck was broken. Snapped just like a twig. He didn't drown.
But then you've seen him under that creature yourself.
Damn right I seen him. I'll tell you, last night, when he come by my house, if I hadn't been drinking so much, I'd have blowed his butt off.
Well, what did he look like?
Well, kind of dark outside, some shadows, and I never did get a real close look. But he was big, I'll tell you that.
Hey, Joe? I'd like to take you up on that invitation. You mind if we follow you out to your place?
Well, you think you can keep up with me?
The next day, the sheriff lets him out, tells him to leave town, but the guys set up camp around Joe's cabin anyway. Soon enough, they hear something in the woods. They find some footprints and decide to split up. A big mistake because Pahu is attacked, knocked unconscious, and drug away. Reeves comes back to the campsite to see it's been ruined. Knowing he needs help, he calls on the radio and gets the sheriff. But then Bigfoot attacks the van.
Clear 190, clear 190. I have a mayday. Mayday, please.
Reeves escapes the van, fires at the Bigfoot, hitting him. But Reeves knows he has to get away from the van because it's about to explode. He gets out, just in time. Reeves, thinking he has Bigfoot, goes to stab him, but instead stabs Pahu. The next morning, the sheriff finds the boys, who are beaten up, but alive. Now back at the hospital, Reeves is feeling pretty guilty about stabbing Pahu.
Oh, there's only something I could do. Something I could get.
Buy a hamburger, french fries, and a Coke.
In the end, they agree they need to keep hunting the creature to prove it's real.
It's out there somewhere. We're gonna find it. Right, partner?
The creature from Black Lake is what you expect from this type of movie. It's one of the more well-known Bigfoot movies from its time. The characters are funny and likable, the townspeople are typical but do a decent job acting. My only complaints are that there aren't many scenes with the Bigfoot, and I would have liked to heard more stories from the townspeople. But in the end, it delivers. I give it 3 out of 4 hamburgers.